Well, welcome to our local non-league, sponsored by Square Media and Retail Solutions, Repost Retail Solutions. And Gavin, I mean, good win, first game of the season. As we said last week, a lot of players missing, but a good 3-0 win.
Yeah, it's I don't think it's a perfect scoreline, but it's a scoreline that I thought we richly deserved. Of course, the first 10 minutes of the game was very unlike us, switched off and should have been one down. Really. But from that point on, I thought, what's pleasing for me is to see them taking on board the stuff that we've worked on out in training. And we go back to those Spurs games and those QPR games. We saw that out of possession stuff for the last 10-15 minutes of the game when we're 3-0 up. And we saw that the offensive stuff, in particular for the first 2 goals that we scored, was much what we've worked on. So from my point of view, I'm delighted with them. It's not easy when a new manager comes in, especially if you've been here a few years, especially if you're used to a different way of doing things, and there's some new concepts coming in. You have to take them on board, and you have to go through the sort of process of sort of getting that installed within you. And I thought the boys were excellent today, and I'm very, very proud of their day.
I see you move quite fast though, after about 30 seconds when he's standing free on the edge of the box and pings one and eats the post.
That's just a lack of concentration for me. It's just a lack of not being able to start the game. You look at it, and I kick myself really because I turned away from it when the free kick was given. Had I been looking at the game, and I'm sure the other boys were the same, then we would have noticed a huge gap that any ball was going to be put into. And if you give teams at this level that sort of invitation, it's going to happen. I make no bones about it. We should be one down, and I wasn't happy, and I wouldn't have been happy if we were.
I mean, took the goals well as well. I mean, some of the goals were, Sam Young's a good goal, and of course Marcus Wilde at the end. It probably might have been easier to miss than score as such, if you know what I mean, because he's looking round to see if he's allowed to carry on, and concentration. But he slotted it away lovely.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a foul at all.
No.
I thought the referee played that very well, and he's cut inside and put it into the corner. And he's been working hard, as well as Cassie has, and Reece particularly with John, in respect to their finishing and respect of some of the movements. Probably the most pleasing goal today is probably the first one, and that's because when we look at that, as a training ground sort of aspect, really, to see that happening, and it's very good as a manager, very pleasing to see that things on the training ground then sort of navigate to the game. And a lot of good work today, and you'd always back Sammy Youngs in that sort of position as well with the second one. So it's a good start. There's stuff to work on without a shadow of a doubt, as there always would be in this first game. I was pleased with our fitness levels, because sometimes in these games, the first game, pre-season's pre-season, and sometimes that gets played at a place that's a pre-season place. When you get into the meaningful stuff, it can be a lot harder and a lot tougher on the legs. And I thought the boys, playing 11 minutes, I think, over the 90, as we're going to find out this season, I think, adapted well and got the shape well, and I was really pleased with the clean sheet.
Or 100 minutes like it was today.
Yeah, listen, it's going to keep going. It's going to keep happening. We're going to see that more and more. We've seen it in the Women's World Cup, and we went to the Isthmian sort of dressing down, I suppose, and what we can and what can't do this season, and what's going to be penalised. And I suppose the ref has only followed that through.
And I mean, the first goal we said upstairs. I mean, Lewis Tapples was upstairs, as you know, and said it's a training ground sort of thing. And I don't think even their goalkeeper expected the cross to come in as quick as it did. But Reece did and put it away nicely.
As I said, from us, it's really pleasing for me, because although it's a goal, and it's a good goal for the supporters, it's a well-worked goal. For us, it's a little bit more than that, because it sort of mirrors stuff that we've been working on. So for us, it's just that little bit pleasing. But first out of the season, I'd take one coming off someone's backside, to be honest with you. But very pleasing with 3-0.
I think one of the other things that's improved this year as well, of course, is the music, by the sound of it, in the dressing room, just really.
It's not my cup of tea, mate.
No?
If I'm honest, I'm showing me out. I'm getting old. I'm getting old and grumpy now. So a bit of Olivia Newton-John or something like that would be great. But yeah, some of the music has probably passed me by now, and so I try and spend as little time when it's on in the dressing room as I can, and sit there in a corner on my own.
So we go on to Tuesday against Potters Bar Town, and I mean they've come off of a bit of a hiding today, losing 4-0. I mean. what do you take into that game? You know, I mean, is it a case of sort of the same sort of team, or have you got more players coming back, or do we lose a few more?
Ollie Knight will be back. He flies in tonight. Other than that, Mickey's not back. I thought Carlos did very well today, actually. And obviously Taffy's Taffy. He's been up with you, I understand, so he's going to be a while yet. And you know, in that respect, we'll have Ollie back in the squad. That's as much as we'll have. It's a big player, to be fair, to be coming back. It's a huge player for us to be coming back. In respect of approaching the game, I mean, I give anybody the due respect they deserve. So the fact that they got beat today and beat well, it doesn't mean a fig to me. I'm looking at it and thinking, you know, this is a team that's going to be at home, is going to want to bounce back, but it's a team that will show the respect they absolutely deserve. You know, anybody in this league, and I've said it so many times, this is by far the strongest I've ever seen this league, ever. And I look at it and I think to myself, so if you're going to look at people's results and take them for granted, then you're going to get beat.
I mean, how pleased was you today as well too? Because I was quite shocked when I walked in to see a certain players on the team sheet today. So I mean, how pleased were you to have Reece available to you know, for selection?
Touch and go, not 100%. He trained-ish on Thursday. We limited it, and he felt that he could go. Tough decision, actually. It's worth mentioning because Addy's been superb. Absolutely superb, and I said to Addy before the game that I'm going to start Reece, but I would have absolutely no problem putting him in between the sticks today. Age has never been a thing on me. I think he's shown that he's a very good goalkeeper, and presents me with a problem, and that's all he can keep doing. You know, if it carries on, we need to find him some football because he's too good to be sitting on the sidelines, that's for sure. But Reece, hasn't had a lot to do. Let's get it right, you know. So by Reece's standards, came out and clutched one late on, which is a godsend from any defender's point of view. So yeah, pleased to have Reece back. Not quite 100%, but yeah, we got him there.
Well, listen, Gavin, I'll tell you, upstairs, listening to the patrons, shall we say, upstairs, today they were extremely pleased, extremely sort of entertained today with the way the team played. So thanks for that, and we march on to Tuesday night.
No problem. Cheers.